Hello viewers and welcome to Daily Politics. On this program, we discuss issues around politics, policy and governance. I'm Hamza Idris. Governors of the 36 states of the Federation have agreed to deploy cash awards to residents of their states. The governors also advised the federal government not to devolve distribution of such remedial measures through the social welfare register developed by the Buhari administration. Invariably, they just announced it to discard the register. The governors met on Thursday at the level of the National Economic Council, which was presided over by Vice President Kashim Shettima. Have a look.
The hardship being experienced by Nigerians seems to have multiplied since the removal of fuel subsidy. This National Economic Council meeting has agreed that the best way to attain this objective is to deploy cash awards to citizens depending on the capacity of each state. But Anambra State Governor Chukwuma Soludo clarifies that the cash awards will not be distributed through the social welfare register developed under the Buhari administration, which has been found to be lacking in credibility.
There are layers of work going on the economy. I'm sure the federal economic team is working hard on what the federal government will and could do. The states are also doing their own bit, and so also the local governments. Now, what we have put out here about what a menu of things that will encourage the tiers of government to implement in accordance with their respective fiscal space and fiscal capacities, the federal, the state, and the local government. And we did highlight as well that there is quite some fiscal surplus that will be coming to the states and local government and the federal government. And there we've suggested it would be nice that you can implement cash transfers subject to your financial capacity.
The governors are also hinting of the possibility of a new minimum wage, which Ogun State Governor Dapo Abiodun explains will fall under medium and long-term plans.
We also talked about ensuring that we paid our public servants outstanding liabilities, whichever way, if it's their pension, if it's their gratuities, if it's their leave bonuses, and so on and so forth. And that is a front burner item because we believe that this would immediately bring succor to our people.
But in the short term, Governor Bala Muhammad of Bauchi State says NEC is backing the release of grains and distribution of fertilizer at various levels.
The takeaways that the NEC really discussed in terms of giving a broader, more encompassing intervention to all the sectors and all the segments of the society. Food is a key component of what is on the table in terms of food security, the escalation of prices of foodstuff, and so on and so forth. And it was gladdening because NEC engaged with NEMA, with the CBN, and indeed with the Ministry of Agric. And we have some buffer stock that is already there with NEMA, and the Council has directed the states will be allocated immediately substantial portion of food items, grains, and so on and so forth for distribution so that the prices of foodstuff will come down and it will be given at a subsidized rate or at the rate at which it is acquired from NEMA because it is free.
As far as palliatives are concerned, NEC has suggested a 6-month cash award policy for public servants to ease their living and transportation expenses. But in the short term, the council says food items including grains and fertilizers will be distributed by state governments at a subsidized rate or at no cost at all after it has been disbursed by the Central Bank of Nigeria, the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and the National Emergency Management Agency. From State House, Abuja, Kehinde Amodu, Trust TV News.
And joining us on the program to share perspectives and also do analysis on tonight's conversation, we have Jamilu Mohammed, an economic analyst and an author. Welcome to the program, Mr. Jamilu.
Thank you.
We're happy having you in the studio.
Thank you.
And we'll go on a short break. When we return, we'll delve into the conversation. Don't go away. Viewers, as promised, the telephone line will be open tonight so that you will call in and share your thoughts with us on how you think this issue of subsidy removal, how it will be addressed, how Nigerians will benefit from all what the leaders are saying. You know, the situation in the country is so tough that people are finding it very, very difficult to cope. But before then, amidst the current realities shaped by the fuel subsidy removal, motor parks nationwide are witnessing a notable decline in passenger patronage. Trust TV took a closer look at the Jabi Motor Park in the nation's capital, Abuja, where union members revealed that the recent fuel price hike has compelled them to raise transport fares as they find it very difficult to cope with the high cost of petroleum. Take a look.
The Jabi Motor Park is usually a beehive of activities with passengers coming to board vehicles for long-distance travels. But the recent fuel price hike has changed all that. The park is looking empty as few passengers who can afford the fares are seen waiting for the vehicles they are boarding to get the required number of persons to begin the journey. Taiwo Oshobu is the chairman of Bus Long Journey, bus unit and the park, and he speaks on the low passenger traffic.
From 5:40 to 6:17 now, it's totally out of hand. No passenger. One motor can position for 3 days, no passengers. No passenger. For 3 days, no passengers. From here to Lagos, I think we are carrying 19,200 naira. Before the subsidy, we carry 15,000. After the subsidy, we carry 19,200 naira. Since it came to 617, we have not even increased.
However, passengers also have this to say concerning the low passenger traffic since the increment of fuel price.
Before, by this time, people will have been here, be traveling, but because of this increment of petrol, nobody wants to travel. If not because I came to Abuja to do some important thing, I won't come. Me too, I won't bother myself to travel because I know it will cost me a lot.
The cost of transportation will definitely reduce. People will now consider, instead of them traveling regularly, someone that is traveling every week, the person might decide to extend it for 2 days, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, so it depends.
Small business owners at the park are also lamenting low patronage owing the low activities.
That don't affect my market. You see me for shop, I sit down for shop. If you say like before, I busy. I don't have time to stay one place.
Well, thank God. I won't say I don't make more sales as I used to, but honestly, before now, I make more sales. Transport fares were doubled when the fuel subsidy was removed, but the second bomb price hike may further change the dynamics at this motor park. Noel Samson, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Mr. Jamilu, you've seen what's happening, out there, and you've had the conversation at the National Economic Council meeting. Let's start with what the leaders said. Cash transfer. They said we should abandon the register used for almost 8 years, right? Saying a lot of questions on that register. Are you with them? I mean, the new sheriffs in town now.
Well, I think there are two issues there. Number one, whether the register inherited from the Buhari administration will be used or not. There has been, or there have been a lot of questions or question marks on the authenticity of that register. So I think, I don't know if what the National Economic Council was saying is that suspend this register, then while we implement our emergency programs,
yes,
then later on possibly we would have time to revisit the issue of the register. Otherwise, I think government spent a lot of money in trying to assemble, collect that register and produce that register. So I think it would be a kind of dishonor to the Nigerian people to say that, okay, discard that register totally. because a lot of resources have gone in, except if we are saying, okay, that register does not exist. So in that case, we should ask those who claim to have produced the register, where are the resources you used in producing those registers? You should ask the Nigerians.
Yes.
So that is one aspect of the issue. The other aspect of the issue is the cash transfers. They say they would themselves do. Now, it is a kind of questioning the capacity of the federal government itself.
Okay. Okay, this is how we are looking at it.
Yes, that's how I've seen it.
Maybe the governors don't really trust
the federal government structure
in
deploying this program. So they think, because most of this, in fact, almost all these NSIP programs,
that's National Social Investment Program,
are being deployed together in consonant with what the state governors or the state governments are doing themselves. The federal government normally consult with the state governments. State governments now provide some of the memberships of or the beneficiaries, and then they also tell the federal government that this is how we want you to deploy this. In the past, that was what was being done. So now for this National Economic Council and the governors to come out and say, no, we don't want the intervention of the federal government, we want to do it ourselves. I think it is a kind of questioning the capacity of the federal government in deploying that. Possibly they would have to do it themselves. There's a lot of, there are some politics in it, in saying that one state government is a PDP state, the other
one is
SDP,
the other one Labour Party,
so this kind
and
of
whatever.
issues also would prompt them into saying, okay, let us deploy the programs ourselves.
All right. Then viewers, what are your thoughts on all this? Call the number displayed on the screen to share them with us. However, we kindly request that you keep your contributions short and refrain from making any inciting or derogatory remarks. So we expect your call to tell us how you think this should go. Yes, Jamilu, I agree with you to a greater extent, the lack of this trust between the federal government and the state governments. But you know, you had Soludo also saying there are peculiarities even among states. But the fear, which I'm sure maybe some of our callers will raise, is that will the state governors do the needful also to actually transfer this money to the right people, going by previous experiences? Look at the bailout given to them during Buhari.
Yes.
Many governors actually
failed. Yes, that is a very serious issue. It's good you have mentioned the bailout. The bailout was poorly deployed, poorly handled. I know some of the states, there were a lot of questions about that. I think that is the same question mark the federal government is putting on the state governments about its own capacity to deploy such programs. This is one of the issues raised about state police. Most people are not very trusting of what the state governments would use. Once you have the resources, or once you have a kind of authority with the state governments, there are certain people in certain communities in states that actually don't enjoy the patronage or the beneficial aspects of what their states would do to them because of some political leanings. You'll find out that maybe a particular community pays its allegiance to the party, the national party. And then
yes, Jamilu, it's like we have a caller now. Yes, Ibrahim from Zamfara. Hello, Ibrahim. Welcome to the program.
Good evening.
Yes, we're happy having you.
Wow.
Yes, what are your contributions to the discussion?
My contribution is I want the federal government to do the needful thing in time, because people are suffering because of this possible removal. Then they keep policy aside. Don't put policy aside.
All right, thank you very much, Ibrahim. Yes, Jamilu, sorry for continuing. We'll continue to do this. As I said earlier, the program is going to be highly interactive. We want to allow Nigerians, and we are doing this for the first time, even though we hope to sustain it at least once every week going forward. Yes, since it's a political program, we also talk about policy, we also talk about governance, and it's now agreed that we should be giving our viewers to hear from them at least once in a week. Yeah, that is it. And we selected this topic because we know it's really a serious issue to Nigerians. You heard Ibrahim from Zamfara. They should fast track this. People are really
suffering.
Dying. Yes.
Yes. He mentioned, Malam Ibrahim mentioned two issues. One, the speed. They should fast track the deployment of
the
palliatives. And then he also spoke about depoliticizing the beneficial aspect of deploying the palliatives. And these are two crucial issues actually about running the whole program. Politicization, I don't know the mechanisms. That the only trustworthy mechanism to deploy and then remove the politicization of the issue is when you have the civil society organizations involved. Just have a kind of an independent mechanism of monitoring what is going to happen. Okay. And then the state government should be very transparent.
But how can they be transparent? As you said earlier, you know, when you go to, anyway, let me not mention any state, but you know, any state you go, the governor would like to favor people from his political party.
If only governors would favor people from their own political parties, that would still be good. But let me tell you, in certain circumstances, what will happen. It is not even favoring people from their political parties. There are certain cronies that governors or leaderships of our states.
Okay.
That
it's like we have another caller from Ebonyi State, and Adonis from Ebonyi. Hello, Adonis. Good evening.
Yes, good evening. Good evening to you. Very good evening to you.
We're happy you joined the program. Okay, what are your thoughts?
The pleasure is mine. When the issue of the subsidy removal came in, I personally welcomed that because I felt that through this, a whole lot will take place in Nigerian economy, and we are going to have a kind of recovery and revival of that economy. But one misgiving about the removal is the current root cause is based on whether the federal government, holistically planned on how to enable the people to survive after removing that subsidy.
Yeah.
Now, the introduction of this package, you call palliative, and the recent increment in the fuel pump price, it is very difficult for person to understand the rationale and how we are going to move on as a people in the face of this hardship.
Yeah.
So I think.
So what do you want the government to do? Yes, Adonis. What do you want the government to do?
Good. I would like the federal government to come up with a plan. Now, recently I heard that the fees for these unity colleges has been raised from 45 to 100,000.
Yeah, I read it. Yeah.
Yes, and you see, this hardship is biting hard on the people, and with such increment, you find out that the 8,000 naira palliative won't, impact positively on the living standard of the people. Federal government should cut down on taxes. Then they should take it easy on school fees, and they should come up with more palliative in terms of helping inputs for the agriculturists.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Yeah,
yes,
thank you.
Thank you very much.
Adonis, we really appreciate your contribution. Thank you, and we hope you join us next week again with your contribution. That's Adonis from you. Very interesting. He said, number one, he welcomed the fuel subsidy removal. And I know you've been an advocate of subsidy removal also. But he said he questioned the capacity of federal government to do the needful. And he cited a very good example. Today, before we came to the studio, I read it. Fees in federal government colleges hiked from unity colleges, from 45 to 100. And you are giving some people 8,000. There is serious disconnect, right?
Yes, I think the Tinubu administration has come from a business perspective or point of view.
Okay.
See, all the programs he has come and have been deploying are finance and economic programs. And the way the programs are so deployed,
juggled together.
Of course,
they
are just. I think he's running too fast. He's running too fast. And
even Bloomberg, they call him Baba fast, Yes.
The other one was Baba goes.
Yes.
This one they say Baba.
Yeah.
Okay. Now look at his tax reform programs. I think what the government seems to be doing, what I'm reading is, the government would try collecting with the left hand and
give you with the right hand.
Giving you with the right hand and then collecting back with the left hand.
And even asking you to bring more from what they gave you.
So I think I think the psyche of this government is that Nigeria is highly undertaxed. That is their own psychology.
Yeah.
I don't buy it. I know Nigerians hardly pay taxes. I know that most African countries suffer this very plague. I understand it. But I think, you see, the way to generate money for government is not only through tax, or through making the citizens bleed.
Okay.
I think that is wrong. There are other
areas that they can get it right. Okay, thank you.
Instead of putting...
All right. We now have Robinson from Niger State. Welcome to the program, and what are your thoughts?
Yes, I'm Mr. Robinson. My program, yes, is that. What people discuss pertaining to subsidy, I support the last person that will speak. Because they cannot just pay Nigeria credit awards like that. Now, many people they are suffering. Mostly what we poor we are suffering because of this subsidy only. They cannot achieve anything. Businessmen, all those little businessmen, they are dying. Transport from here to small place before now, 15 is now times 3.
Yeah.
Of which is very bad. So you people should help us to talk to the president to reduce the price, to reduce the fair price. So that people we can travel from one place to another. Now some business like business, not business, fold up, no way. Instead of that to starting to get to eat, they are spending because there's no source of feeding again. And it will add stealing to Nigeria again. Because where there's no food in the house, like a houseman, we have no food in the house. We can go and do whatever we say we don't expect. So I'm begging you people to please to Mr. President, in fact, to reduce the fuel.
All right.
Thank you very much.
All right. Robinson, thank you very much for your contribution. Very interesting. You can see Nigerians are really patient people, and they don't really give up. Every other person, if you give him chance, he will offer, a perspective. Robinson said that for now, Nigerians are paying ×3 almost for everything. And he said the president should revisit the complete removal of the subsidy and maybe bring it back. I don't know. What are your thoughts on this?
No, I don't think that is workable. We have reached a point of no return on that issue. If we try to return, I think we will all be seriously wounded.
You think we should not even start thinking of because
we shouldn't.
Honestly, some people are saying we should go back to the.
If we are going back to that, I don't believe in austerity measures. In economics, I don't believe in austerity measures. What I believe is produce more. If you think this talk about cutting the cost of governance, I don't buy the idea. Instead of cutting the cost of governance, why not produce and get more money to fund the government? So I think it's the same thing with what he's saying. why not the government produce more for the population instead of...
So you think production will actually be the magic one?
The magic one.
Okay, let's hear what Ogashua from Nasarawa has for us. Ogashua, welcome to the program. And what are your thoughts?
Good day, sir.
Yes, welcome.
It's about the removal of the subsidy. And to me, it is, I will say, it is an anti-people policy. The reason I say this is that if the real government, all over the world, government are used to subsidize what commodity that they have for their own citizens. That's the business of the government. And secondly, if the government say these people that they so-called diversion of the corruption in the oil sector, are they above the law? If are they not above the law, why the government rather to pursue them and to create a hardship to whole citizens? The aim and objective of...
All right, that's what Ogashua Gambo from Nasarawa is like. We lost him, but he has passed the message. You heard him. All over the world, subsidy is there. And I think I was discussing in the newsroom the other day, our deputy editor-in-chief, he said, in UK, for instance, food is almost free. It's so cheap that a beggar can enter, any eatery and buy food and get satisfied.
Yes.
Meaning that government is there for the people.
Yes.
And any policy that you have which will not favor the people, it's actually against them. Now, Ogashua is saying, why not government should go for those who are sabotaging the subsidy? Because subsidy is accepted. Why not go after those who are undermining the process instead of punishing people? But we have Lukman from Kazina. I will join the questions for you to answer. Okay, Lukman, go ahead. Welcome to the program.
Okay, thank you. How are you?
Fine, Lukman. Go ahead.
Okay, actually, all this issue of palliative, I don't actually support it. What the government supports is that all money that is spent from this subsidy removal is supposed to channel towards revamping our refineries, so that our refineries will work, so that our petrol, the petrol can be refined in our country, and the petrol will be sold
okay.
at a lesser price, okay?
All right.
So, but taking this within the end of this, as much as our refineries remain closed, okay? We are okay.
All right. Thank you very much, Lukman. We heard you, and we are sure those that matter are also hearing all of us. You have had another perspective. Okay. With Ogashua, why can't government go after those undermining the subsidy initiative?
Government can go after them, although I think our law enforcement agencies, our regulators in those aspects, I think there's a lot of weakness. Let me give you an example.
Okay.
Look at our EFCC. If you put together the budget of EFCC, annual budget of EFCC, you'll find out that a single person embezzles 5 times the budget of the EFCC. One single person in this country.
You mean the actors, the political actors?
The political actors.
One embezzle 5 times what is budgeted for EFCC to do its work.
If EFCC tries going after him with those kind of resources in his hand,
oh my God,
he will overwhelm EFCC. This is a fundamental problem of our agencies. I think the structure of the agencies themselves is a big problem.
I was discussing with Dr. Hakim Baba Ahmed the other time, and he said, let's fight corruption first.
Yes.
Because if we fight corruption, even this insecurity benevolence will fizzle out.
But fighting corruption is not only through unleashing the dogs against these people.
Okay.
First of all, why is the corruption in the first place?
Lack of security. I mean, I'm not talking about activities of bandits and all that.
Not that.
Okay, we have Dauda also now. Okay, from Abuja. Dauda, welcome to the program.
Thank you. Good evening, sir.
Okay, welcome. Thank you. What are your thoughts, Dauda?
Yeah, I want to contribute to the ongoing program.
Thank you. Go ahead. I'm with you. Yes, I'm with you, Dauda.
Yeah, my contribution is that I don't know how somebody may look at it, because this perspective, I don't think it will help us.
Okay.
Yeah, the federal government should hasten our refinery, either Kaduna or Port Harcourt or Warri, should be put in place.
Okay.
Even if they happen to put one refinery into function, it will actually help us.
Yeah. All right. Thank you very much, Dauda, for coming to the program. Yes.
Thank you, sir.
You had him. It's like Dauda and Lukman, they are on the same page in fixing the refineries. And some people said that Tinubu ought to have maybe waited to give maybe 6 months, because you can see now all what people have been saying, I mean those in power, that the subsidy is only subsidizing the rich.
Yes.
Is actually a misnomer.
President Tinubu had no option removing the fuel subsidy. He had no option.
But if we had it since 1977, Jamilu, don't you think that taking 6 months to actually bring one or two of these refineries on board?
Already the Petroleum Industry Act passed.
But laws are actually not secretaries.
Are you saying after it was passed more than a year before the coming in of Tinubu administration, if he comes in, then he will say, okay, let's go back in just 1 month and say, okay, let's go back and review the law?
Even the Buhari administration, you remember, they're supposed to start implementing it.
I actually don't buy this thing about back and forth, putting laws and then reversing, putting. It doesn't spell good about governance.
But have you heard some people saying Buhari should come back?
Well, I have heard that.
You see?
I have heard that. Yes. What I'm saying is, President Tinubu has so much jumbled his own programs.
And that's why he's not getting it right.
Yes, that's why he's not getting it right. There are laudable programs, tax reform, fuel subsidy removal. These are things I have advocated for in the past. Yes. But you cannot deploy all these things
at the same time.
At a go.
Yeah.
That is one big
They will
problem.
end up undermining each other.
Of course. And there have been a lot of distortions in our economy. First of all, before even talking about inflation, you have to separate what is inflation and what is distortion. You have not removed the distortions from the system, and you are talking about managing the inflation. I think that is a poor way of doing the things.
All right.
I think Tinubu had no option as far as I'm concerned.
But to go ahead.
But to go ahead.
All right. Let's hear what Tony Eze from Benue State has for us. Welcome to the program, Tony.
Hello, good evening.
And what do you have for us?
Well, what I have for us is that my thought is that our leaders are not having the interest of masses at heart. If you say subsidy is scam, can't we track and see where the scam is coming from and treated it? Rather than throwing people, if you come down in my vicinity here and see how people are suffering, the government needs to think twice. They need to think twice. People are dying. People are dying.
All right.
Good night.
Thank you very much, Tony. You see, it's like if you look at what Gambo, Lukman, Dauda, and now Tony, they are all saying
consensus
that government is not getting it right.
Yes.
No sympathy.
It is true.
Okay. I want us to go back to the issue of the social register. You know, I'm privy to a certain discussion, you understand, where they said originally, you know, there was this register at the office of the vice president, Osibanjo then, which was put together with support by international donors. You know, you said for them to get it right, even at the state level, they need NGOs, meaning both local and international NGOs. Yeah. But I don't want to call name, but a certain minister allegedly told President Buhari that he or she would not really use that register. Yes, because they have the people that they want to consider with the NSIP. Yeah.
It is true, but I think this issue of register should not have been a problem. We have these agencies who have all our data that should be used to deploy these programs.
Right.
We have our National Population Commission.
Yeah.
We have our
NBS.
The NBS,
yeah.
National Identity Management Commission. All these.
We are rich in data, honestly.
We are rich in data. If all this data would be collected.
Yeah, synchronized of sort.
I think we would have.
Because we have the demographics there.
We do. And it is easy now to streamline who and who are to get what.
All right. That is good.
That should be a
all right. Yeah. Because we also have some messages through our WhatsApp platform, and we will read some of them. Bring back our subsidy. This is what one of them said. He said the president is punishing us for nothing. He should just bring back our subsidy. They will steal the subsidy money. So it's better with subsidy than this suffering. He doesn't even know about what the masses are feeling now in Nigeria. Comrade Rafiu Ruben Shinga. Yes. All right. Yes, we also have another one from 0703-063-5227. I want Mr. President to use subsidy money to rebuild our refinery and to work on electricity. We don't need palliative. This is from Mr. Felix from Akure, Ondo State. Yes, so you can see it's like Nigerians were so thirsty. They are looking for medium that will give them the latitude to ventilate their anger.
Yes.
They say they don't want the subsidy.
Yes, I think...
I mean, they don't want the palliative. They want the subsidy to come back.
Yes. They don't want the palliative.
Yes.
The palliative will... The present composition of the palliative would in no way cover what the subsidy has taken away.
Wow.
This is the truth.
It will not.
It will not. There is no way it would. You see, unfortunately enough, Mr. President and his men have succeeded in more demonizing a subsidy removal. In the first place, most Nigerians didn't want it. But that is the best thing for us. But instead of trying to pacify Nigerians, trying to tell Nigerians...
They are provoking them now.
Now they have provoked Nigerians.
You see, at the National... Yes, at the National Economic Council, I want to list some of the things. There will be cash transfer to the poor states, right? Yes. Through the social register. It will take them maybe 2 years to come up with it. Even though you have given a suggestion that why can't they go to NBS? Why can't they go to NPC, right? National Population Commission. They have all this. And yes, NIMC. And the data is there. The demographics are there. I hope they are listening. That this thing is doable, right?
Yes.
Even though some Nigerians are really against it, they say rather let them go and fix the refineries and all that. Yes. But what about this tax-free payment to public servants for 6 months? Meaning, I don't know what they mean. Is it that the salary they are paying, they will no longer remove this pay as you earn?
Personal income tax.
Okay.
Yes, I think, I don't know if that is part of the executive orders he signed, suspending...
No, yesterday they agreed at the National Economic Council. Yeah,
I know that.
Yeah.
But before then, Mr. President had signed certain
orders,
executive orders.
Yes.
And they have to do with suspending the implementation of certain tax reform programs.
Yes.
Maybe extending it to say around September or October before the implementation begins. But what this means is that personal income tax, I think by and large, the ones that may not be very statutory, those ones would be suspended, so that people would have more money in their hands.
All right, thank you. It's like we have our first female caller in person of Amina from Niger State. Lucky you, Amina. Welcome for being the first lady to contribute to this program. Go ahead and tell us what you have for us.
All right. My take on. Yes, good evening.
Okay, good evening. Yes, can you reduce the volume of your TV, please, so that the audio will be clear?
All right.
Yes.
All right. Can you hear me now?
Very well, Amina.
Yes. You see, this issue of subsidy removal, I'm 100% in support of it. I'm behind President Bola Tinubu to remove the subsidy.
Okay.
But the palliative is now the question mark. You see, during the election, these people know how to get to distribute ballot papers and voters card,
exactly.
even to the suburb area. Then what is happening to the palliative? If there are those people on top that are saboteurs, and we suppose that we should just remove the saboteurs and let him deal with the policies that brought him into power. How can we just suffer because of few jaguars in Nigeria?
All right.
You find out that many families are because of this subsidy removal of the thing. Yes. Our children are no longer going to school. Our children are getting into the street. Our children are being raped by day. Our children are into drugs. We women, we are tired. We don't want a situation whereby they say the former government is better than the present one. Why should we be saying this?
All right.
And why are some of us announcing that we want Baba, we have missed Baba? Why?
All right. All right. Thank you very much.
Let our visitors look into it.
All right. Thank you very much, Amina. We hope you call us again next week. Thank you for your contribution. Right. Yeah, the First Lady, you can see, she said the women are actually tired and they are suffering more. Yeah. They are suffering more. She said their children no longer go to school. They don't feed well. And she said something monumental, that politicians know how to track and reach the poor. When it comes to sharing ballot boxes or ballot papers, or during elections, right? So why can't they, within days, actually reach out with these palliatives? Why the technicalities?
It is still the same, would I say, greed. See, they have certain people they have earmarked.
Oh my God.
That these palliatives are for these people.
And maybe some of these people don't even need it.
Yes, that's the problem. The cronies, they have their cronies around. And the second problem is that not only the politicians. You see, we Nigerians too, we have to share the blame.
Okay, the citizens.
Yes, the citizens. See, let me give you an example. Why has the federal government, let me say, rice program under say refund? Why has it failed?
Because it was dubious.
It was dubious.
Yes.
The implementation of the
intention was good, but implementation dubious. We had rice pyramid in Abuja, and it disappeared after the.
And people are still crying wolf now. The rice is not available, food is not available, it's expensive, and so on and so forth. So you blame the government on one side, you blame the citizens
from the other. Okay.
These people are sitting down, watching their program going down the drain under corruption, and they supported the corruption.
Exactly. Okay, we now have Jolie from Delta State. Jolie, welcome to the program.
Yes, you are welcome, sir.
Okay, please go ahead.
So
what are your thoughts?
The issue of subsidy removal, I don't think the federal government knows what they are doing. They put the general Marxists in mess. Look at all the 36 states in Nigeria are going out hungry. Nobody can even chop in 30 square meters per day. The people that are rich are getting richer, while the poor are getting poorer. It's very wrong. Let the federal government put things in order. So the first subsidy, not first subsidy, they are scamming us. We don't need it.
Wow.
Let it be as before.
All right.
So this palliative they are trying to give, they want to just stifle our money. We don't need it. They should use that money to build industry for the common people to work.
All right. Thank you, Jolie, for your contribution. Thank you. You see, he said in all the 36. And honestly, it's true. I don't know the number of calls I received today. You, how many did you receive from, from your hometown?
A lot.
People asking your colleagues that you grew up together, asking you 1,000, 2,000 to feed. It's actually devastating.
It's devastating.
Yes, a distant cousin called telling me that it's now a standard in his house that they cook just 2 times. And they delay breakfast until around 10:30, 11 to now have it. And then dinner around 6:30, that is it. And the children are actually complaining.
And we are seeing this, hoping that it doesn't degenerate further. That's our prayer.
Yeah.
Because the way things are going, if things are not salvaged, I think they will deteriorate further. These small palliatives they are talking about. My fear is the government itself would introduce one financial burden on Nigerians the next week. That's
sadly, yeah.
So,
okay, let's take this text message that someone sent. Yeah, my thoughts on subsidy are: one, very medicines at all local government. Okay, that they should provide medicine at PHCs, to be supplied to public hospital as Buhari did during PTF. Let the government pay school fees at least 2 semesters. Fertilizers at low price all over the country. Supply of mass transit to all states. This is from Ismail Ahmed in Hong, Adamawa State. What a fantastic prescription there. Look at it. Yeah, he said drugs as Buhari did.
Yes.
This was during Abacha, right? When he was giving period. Yeah,
it was
that
a fine program.
Take drugs directly to PHCs.
Yes.
Pay school fees. Look, I don't know. I don't want to say this is the best I have seen so far, but you can see the prescription and it's straightforward. You can track it.
If you try doing it today, you would have to modify the method of deployment. Otherwise, it will fail. What we did in 1993, 95, 96, 97, and it succeeded under PTF, the same things would be deployed today and they will fail.
Because we are more corrupt now.
We are more corrupt
than we were during
and then
Abacha.
We have also lost confidence. Part of the issue about corruption is losing of confidence of the citizenry on government. It's very funny.
Yeah, and I think I haven't seen any. We have received almost 9 calls. You understand, quite a number of WhatsApp messages and 1 text message. None of these people say that they are ready to receive the 8,000 or 10,000 or whatever the state governors are planning to give them.
The citizenry have no confidence on the government that what the government is saying is true. Even if, forget about saying that 8,000 naira is meager, put that aside. The confidence that the government will fulfill its own obligation is
questionable.
It's questionable, I think.
All right. Thank you very much, Jamilu. Viewers, we will go on a break now. And when we return, the conversation, what we have, very funny, we have taken the whole time. Oh, my God. And we have a lot to offer, but my producer is saying, time off for us. Oh, my God. What is your final thought? Maybe in 10 seconds.
My final thought is, I think the government will still have to revisit the issue of these palliatives.
All right.
Try to beef it up.
Okay.
The way they are trying to deploy this 8,000 naira thing, I think is too much. And the method of deploying it is poorly arranged and designed.
All right.
So I think there is need to revisit the issue seriously.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Jamilu, for coming to the program. We thank you for your informed perspective and contextualizing most of what our readers said. And readers, we sincerely want to apologize for our inability and to, receive tons of calls that came in because of time. Many text messages we were unable to read because of time, but we assure you that we'll give you opportunity to give your own perspective on another issue next week. We thank you for being with us. Join us tomorrow for another interesting edition of the program. Bye-bye for now. I'm Hamza Idris.